The aim of the brief was to increase physical activity among men over the age of 50 and encourage them to take more opportunities to become more physically active and spend less time sitting down. As the average man in the UK spends the equivalent of 78 days each year sitting and almost 30 hours watching TV a week. A recent report by UK Active found that the average UK adult spends more than twice as much sitting on the toilet as they do exercising each week. However, when interviewing our target audience in the form of a vox pop, we found that most of them had already closed the door to exercise and immediately showed a negative response to the word, claiming that they'd already tried it and found it boring in a tone that suggested they had already given up.
Extraordinarily boring.
We found that the target audience that we were interviewing who claimed that exercise was boring was heavily associating the word with going to the gym or running. This led us to our insight that if we presented exercise in a form that didn't immediately shout out exercise, they may not necessarily associate it with the word and be more open-minded about trying out the activity and thus more likely to partake. This is because it was the concept of the word that they found boring rather than the activity itself. Therefore, if we presented a fun activity that didn't necessarily imply exercise, they may find that exercise has many different forms and they are not all boring. In this campaign, we are talking to middle-class men like Gary here. He has just turned 53 and works as a university lecturer, supporting 2 children aged 18 and 10 with his wife, and earns about £30,000 a year. Like most middle-aged men, he watches TV over breakfast, reads The Sun on the tube to work, and his walk to the tube station is the only exercise he currently does. At uni, he would sit in his office most of the time and stand for about 2.5 hours a day. During his lunch break, he would grab his favourite BLT sandwiches and a bag of chips from the school cafe. Gary would have dinner with his family, but after dinner he would often head out to the pub with his friends and have another cheeseburger with a beer. Overall, Gary is not as active and cautious about his diet as he used to be. He wants to be fit but lacks the motivation, and he says that going to the gym is bloody boring. Since our purpose is to mask and not mention the term exercise to our target audience, we suggested penetrating this campaign into Gary's lifestyle, also known as the customer journey. We start with every man's soft spot, his kids, by collaborating with local school and teenager football clubs to hold a father and child football match so that Gary's children will prompt him to join the practice after he finishes work. There are many other ways we could catch Gary's attention, for example, putting up posters at tube stations that he would see on his way to work, ads in the newspaper he reads in the morning, and even flyers in the uni cafe or Google pop-ups as he prepares for his lectures. Even when he is at home watching his favourite TV show Top Gear, we could have adverts follow in between. As Gary knows he probably should be exercising, a constant opportunity to join his sons in a friendly football game would seem a nice start. The men over 50 that we interviewed, who were also the base of our persona Gary, all knew they needed to be more active, and most of them were willing. However, the barrier stopping them was that they had all tried but failed to find it interesting enough to carry on. This led them to being closed off to whatever they considered a form of exercise. We therefore created something fun and nudged them to partake by connecting to them on an emotional level, encouraging them to exercise with their kids, and presented it in a way that didn't necessarily shout out exercise. Thank you for listening.